Okay.
You want to start?
Okay, today I'm going to be speaking on the struggles of drug use. And I have a quote here. The mentality and behavior of drug addicts and alcoholics is wholly irrational until you understand that they're completely powerless over the addiction. Russell Brand. That quote seems to represent addicts and the struggle of addiction really well, with how challenging it can be to escape from addiction and get away from the problems that go along with it. And firstly, I'm going to be speaking about why is there such a problem. Well, firstly, drugs can reach anybody. They can come out of really any different place, any different class, whether rich or poor, in many different areas also. And they can also appear in almost any different environment. They can come from higher areas and even lower areas. And with drugs, there's always a want for more, that addictive effect. Once you take it and you experience it, you want more of that effect and continue to take it and get more hooked on it as you go in the want for more. And next is they're not easy to step off of. This is the withdrawals that go along with drugs, that when coming off of drugs and going off of them, it can be a problem with the withdrawals, which can be anxiety, depression. You can get nauseous and sick from many different ways, many different other problems that go along with it. And next is, why might someone get into drugs? There are many different reasons why someone could get onto drugs or how they get onto drugs. Firstly is the broadest spectrum is to escape the day-to-day. And this is when people may have problems and want to change how they're feeling or living. And the next one is trouble at home. Trouble at home is one of the bigger things with people who have problems with their siblings or families, even friends, that can cause them to want to get away with those problems and not deal with them anymore. And nextly is mental health problems. There are tons of mental health problems that can cause people to feel stressed and anxious and want to escape these, like anxiety, depression, OCD, ADD, any of those problems that can cause people to feel stressed and not like themselves and wanting to get away from those. Next is spending time with others who use, which is a big problem it's proven that when you spend time with someone who does one thing, you're more likely to do that thing. And if someone's doing drugs, you're obviously more likely to participate and do drugs along with them. Next is biology. Biology is a factor that many people don't know about, but the way your genetic makeup can affect how it goes. One person might be severely addicted to one drug because of the way that it feels. It really gets them that good high feeling, and another person might not get that same feeling. They might not feel good, and it could even cause them to feel worse. Next is, what makes drug addiction a problem? Well, firstly, it leads to many criminal activities with buying the drugs or getting the means to buy the drugs, and also the selling and smuggling of drugs, which is also legal. Nextly is it affects people mentally. There are many studies done about people's brains who take drugs that it can completely change the makeup of their brain, how they think, and one person who might take drugs can be a totally different person once they come off of them, with the many different challenges that goes along with it. Lastly is it negatively affects the people around you. This can be the person who's taking the drugs or the other people who are in their lives. It can cause them to lose relationships and have people give up on them when they shouldn't be giving up on people. And next is the different types of drugs. Quickly, I'm going to go over the 3 different types of categories. Firstly is depressants, which are used for people who want to slow down their brain, slow down their body, which tends to lower coordination, lower reaction times, and things like that. And it makes someone feel more at peace. People with anxiety and depression will many times use this to help soothe their brain and soothe how they're feeling. The second one is hallucinogen, which is something that makes someone see and hear things that are not actually there. Many times people will see pictures or images that move when they're not actually moving, or hear voices, or even hear animals talk, which is extremely crazy. And lastly is a stimulant, which is for making someone more pumped up or more stimulated. And this is many times used for wanting to feel better, wanting to feel more empowered, and people who take this feel more bold and confident and can many times act out and do crazy things. Next is the escapes from drug abuse, the many different treatments. First is detoxification, which is where someone will go off a drug and just attempt to deal with the withdrawals and things that can go along with that. Nextly is medication. Many people will take medication for the anxiety and depression of coming off drugs, but there are also drugs that people can take, or medications that people can take to help with the cravings of the drug that they might be addicted to. And lastly is the broadest one is long-term treatments, where people go somewhere or to someone to experience this treatment. And a few of these are residential treatment, which is where you go and stay at a facility for even days, weeks, months, and you go there, and they're these extremely strict facilities that you don't really get to see many other people or do many things outside of school. And the next one is day treatment, which is the same thing as residential treatment, but you have some more freedoms and are allowed to go home at night. And the third one is outpatient treatment, which is more lenient and is usually used to stop relapses. It's where someone can go and see a counselor, and these are usually either court mandated, which is where someone has committed a crime, drug related, and have to go to it, or it's themselves, which when it's themselves, they're much more likely to get clean and come off of it. And lastly is sober living communities, which is where you go and stay with other people who are addicts and who are working together to come off of the drug. And coming up to a conclusion here, drugs are such a bad problem in our country, in our world, and they are very challenging to come off of. And you truly just have to watch out with someone and be patient with them, know what they're going through. Well, you even truly can, but have to be patient, work with them, and help them in all the ways that I listed, all the different ways that they can get off of it, treatments, medications, and just going off of it. Thank you very much.